Hi everyone, it's Isabel from Autism Untouched, Matthew's mum. I'm going to talk to you guys today about low muscle tone. That is often a problem that autistic kids have, and that can affect every area of their lives. But that being said, my oldest daughter, we were talking this morning, and that is really what inspired this video. I'm going to read Matthew's report from his occupational therapist and the physiotherapist. I'm not gonna, mention the names of them or these schools, but I felt that this is very important for me to read to you out of a professional point of view, the motivation they have of doing certain things. And I just feel that I spoke to Matthew's teacher this morning, and we're going to probably gonna have a few discussions more. But again, this is about our autistic kids being seen as individuals. This is what this video is about. I'm not playing down low muscle tone. I have seen in Matthew's class there are kids on various levels of the spectrum, high functioning, more, some has got more high needs, some has got a cerebral palsy as well, but every child is different. And I had quite a big problem. This is why I'm discussing this with you. You've got to know your child and you've got to do your research, because I had a problem with Matthew. He didn't want to go to school a few months ago, and the one morning I was there with my daughter, and I observed that the physiotherapist that he has, very young girl, she felt that he needs one of those compression vests, but this specific one that she ordered, that's what we could get funding for in New Zealand. It fastens at the crotch. I think you call it crotch. It fastens at the bottom, almost like a baby grower. I don't know what you call it, or in other countries, but point being, it would for Matthew, it would be quite hard to quickly loosen this thing and get to the bathroom if he wants to. And also, he doesn't like things that are very tight. Some kids do on the spectrum, but that's why I'm saying you've got to know your child. I'm going to read the report for you guys. So this is going to be quite a lengthy video. I'm trying to make it not too long. But yes, so what I was discussing with the teacher this morning is an incident that happened a few months ago. I observed, me and my daughter, how the teachers were following the instruction of the physiotherapist and trying to put this, they call it a Benic vest, you can look it up what it's about, on Matthew. He hated it and he was crying and he was on the floor and he was saying not fair. He was verbally saying and fighting he does not want this thing on. I went into the next IEP meeting. I said to them, look, I've done some research on this, and the type of garment, compression garment that she has recommended for Matthew, it is actually for children that has got feeding tubes in, they've got big problems. As you can see on the videos, Matthew doesn't have those problems. Was diagnosed with severe autism, but he's actually quite high functioning. So she was very offended that I disagreed with her and her having more expertise than me, but you've got to sometimes go with your gut feeling. I did a lot of research, and he goes for therapy still, but the point is, I eventually took a step back because I could see what happened was here is that the you get a compression, normal, small, short vest. And I said to her, I think that would be better for Matthew because it will give him that feeling of control when he has to go to the toilet suddenly. And I think that would be better. She could not get funding for that. So at the end of the day, it was not really that he needed the other compression garment that fastens at the bottom, and I'm telling you these things so that you can know this could be make a big difference in your child's progress in school. Because what was happening, Matthew's, every time they put this vest on him, he was exhausted of fighting not to get it on, and he was not enjoying being at school, and he was feeling violated. And I kept on telling them, this is not right, I'm not agreeing with it. Now, this is why I'm saying the teacher that he has, special needs teacher, he's with him most of the time. I got this. Sometimes you'll get a very professional report, and it will push the personal opinion of the whether it's a specialist or doctor, and it might not be the right fit or the right choice for your child. You have to research as a parent of an autistic child. I'm going to read this for you, so yeah, just bear with me. Okay, so I won't read all of it, but this is what the occupational therapist said. Now, he seems more open minded. It has been a pleasure getting to know and work with Matthew. He seems to be engaging more in class and intervention with the occupational therapist. Okay, this was the physiotherapist talking about, yeah. Matthew has developed his fine and gross motor skills and is also seen to be more regulated in class. This means he is getting sensory input throughout his day. We are still trying to encourage the more consistent use of the Bennick vest. This is this thing that's like a leotard. I don't know what you call it, but it fastens like a baby grower. Okay, so what he is saying here is that he works with a physiotherapist. So obviously it's his colleague. This guy is quite new, and she's been there longer, the physiotherapist. This is the physiotherapist take on the Bennick vest. Matthew received a new Bennick vest sent in March of this year to help stimulate his muscle tone, giving him more energy. Okay, he doesn't need more energy, he's got a lot of energy, but which should also help increase his ability to attend to tasks. Considering this, his physiotherapy goal was by the end of 2019, Matthew will tolerate a compression garment. Now, this whole report that she gave me, the physiotherapist, was all in pushing the point that she wants him to wear this Bennick vest. And I said to them at the last IEP meeting, this is how many months ago? Look, I've seen him. He does not want to put this thing on. He has got a choice. Because your child is autistic does not mean they don't have a say. Just remember that. Because I could see it was distressing him, and then I read up on it. Various reports, I did my research thoroughly. I even contacted another occupational therapist, which she actually confirmed that if you are not really severely have severe muscle tone problems, you don't need the full garment. You can just wear a compression vest. It means that it could give you more energy, because you know that low muscle tone. I want to explain something to you. Low muscle tone is it's something to do with your brain. And I mean, you specialist and you all of you should probably know it. But your brain, a child's brain works better when the child is relaxed and when they are having fun. This is common knowledge. You don't have to have a degree to know that. If you are anxious, you are unproductive. If you feel anxious and you feel fearful, you can't get things done. It's like you are in a passive frozen mode. Even with us as adults, it's like that. Anyway, I want to read you further. What she was saying is Bennick vest. Alongside the occupational therapist, indirect physiotherapy input was also provided to Matthew during weekly gross motor play sessions. The aim of these sessions was to introduce new physical games the students can play during break times, facilitating the natural development of their gross motor skills. She was admitting to me there, and that's what I was saying to her. Gross motor skills often gets developed by letting your child climb trees, take him to the park, take him to the beach to jump up and down between the waves, play in the sand. That is what children love doing. And putting them in sort of a, like, I think they sort of a harness, that could has benefits for a child that needs that. That's what I'm saying. When a professional advises you or gives you advice to for your child to engage some or other in some or other therapy or whatever it is, find out exactly what it is, and you decide then as the parent whether it's going to freak your child out, whether it's actually going to help. Because let me tell you this, I'm one of those parents. I'm open to new ideas. I'm open to therapy. I'm open to science and all those things. I don't, I'm not one of those people that always think I know better, but I do know my child. And you know your child. And there's certain things that can benefit your child. But like what was happening with this Bennick vest is that it was upsetting him so much that he was so tired of fighting, exhausted, that he was not making progress in any other of the areas. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys is, don't be bulldozed. Bulldozed. It's yes, don't be bulldozed by someone if you don't fully agree with the treatment your child is having or a way they treat their behavior. Like often when an autistic child, when they act out or they are tired, there's reasons for it. We are all human beings. We are tired sometimes. So don't take everything at face value. Do your research on the therapy your child is having, because remember, there is something as too much. These are still kids. And yes, you can be an adult and have all that therapy. Then at least you have a choice. But it doesn't mean because, I mean, nothing gets forced onto kids in normal schools. Yes, they have to learn and they have to be quiet in class sometimes, but things doesn't get for therapy and things. Just because you're autistic does not mean you don't have a will and you don't have boundaries. And we have to speak up for our kids, especially like Matthew is not completely verbal yet. I am his voice and you are your child's voice if your child is non-verbal. So what she was saying, I'm going to read the rest of the report here. Matthew can wear his Bennick vest for about 1 block during the school day. Sometimes Matthew does not seem to want his Bennick vest to be put on him, but he's fine once it is on. Using a motivating first then visual, Matthew will easily allow an adult to put his vest on him. This suggests that he may simply enjoy the human interaction received when he resists the Bennick vest rather than him disliking the actual vest. I'm laughing at this because this girl obviously is trying her luck. She's saying that the reason why, listen to how ridiculous this is. The reason why he's resisting and getting upset is because he likes the attention. No, I've seen him. He was absolutely distressed and anxious. And after I spoke to his teacher this morning, and she says to me, no, they in the class have actually stopped putting it on him because he doesn't like it. It really, really makes him very, very upset. And yeah, yet this is a person who wants to have her way, whether it's good for him or not. She ordered that and she wants it done. No, no. We have to remember, you're not being unthankful if you are receiving or if you are refusing certain treatments and therapy for your child. If it looks to you like your child's not ready for it or it upsets them, you can say no. Because let me tell you something. I would say 70% of a lot of problems autistic kids have to learn is because they are anxious, because their brain already is not working. like a normal child's brain, and they learn in a different way. And if they already have to override everything that's going on in their brain and do what you want them to do, that's already exhausting. And we should start being more open minded to alternative teaching methods for these kids. They will learn to read and write and do the things that every normal child does, but in another way, in a different way, not the way we want to. I'm reading you this because, and this is now the summary and recommendations. Matthew will benefit from wearing the Benic vest, especially towards the end of the day when he may be more fatigued. He's tired. A first in visual should be used, and this will encourage Matthew to let an adult put the Benic vest on him. She just said he likes the attention and he's fine when they put it on. Yet she's saying here they should use a visual to encourage him to let the adult put it on. She's contradicting herself. When you read special needs reports, you need to be open-minded and read between the lines. I'm telling you this because I know in the long run, if you keep on forcing an autistic child, keep on um, violating them by doing things that they can't understand and that they don't want. It's different from teaching them to do social things and to take part in rotations in class. It's one thing to do that, but it's a different thing to enforce a method or therapy or treatment on them when they really don't feel comfortable with it. It's going to have long term effects. You want your child to be successful one day. You want them to have a voice, to speak up for themselves. You want them to be comfortable in the world. And when they get violated, even though it's under the professional or it's because it's best for him, no. You as the parent know what is best for your child. And I'm asking you to be their voice. Thank you for listening. This is Isabel from Autism Untouched. Bye bye.